Namaste everyone. Welcome to Advaita Vedanta Satsang House. The ongoing sessions are on Aparokshanubhuti offered by Bindoji. We are on session 35. The 34 earlier sessions are available as replay on Clubhouse, or you can check out the Advaita Retold YouTube channel that's pasted in the chat. For reference, we have pinned up a text on the top here that is from Swami Vimuktananda, which gives you an English translation of the text, but it's a word-to-word translation. And the other text Bindoji uses is pinned in the chat, which is purely a Sanskrit version offered by Acharya Vidyarnya. For the sake of housekeeping purposes, I'll shut down the chat and I'll open it up after Bindoji has completed his session. Over to you, Bindoji.
Thank you, Prakash. Namaste and Hari Om to all of you. We are almost moving toward the final section of Aparokshanubhuti. Before entering that, where Acharya Shankara is giving us 15 steps as methodology or practices which will help us ascertain the teaching what has been done through the earlier verses. Before getting in that, let us start the final two verses, and then we will start the other one. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Śruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loga Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutravāṣivritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtiveda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Aparokshanubhuti. Sri Harim Paramanandam Uvadeshtaram Ishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. So we saw that in the previous few verses, Shankaracharya has very categorically and unambiguously proved that the feeling of the phenomenal world, including our own individuality existence, and the world of the waker, dreamer, and the deep sleeper, are due to non-apprehension of our own true reality. Who we are, we do not know. We always associate with the individuality which we have in our waking state as Bindo or Prakash or whoever maybe we call ourselves as. But when we analyze based on the logic and the verses from the Upanishad, where Acharya has mentioned that this body which we think as who we are, our body-mind complex, physicality, or the individuality or the ego, is a appearance or a superimposition on something which we have no idea about. That is where the Upanishad helps us to identify that. What is being seen or what is being known or what is being experienced cannot be the one who is experiencing it. So that analysis with which he has done this till now is even bringing to the state that, where the Shastra followers, those who are following Vedas and Upanishads and etc., are insisting on the same Shastra which is talking about the moksha through Upanishad, advidiyatvam or non-duality or ekatvam, Brahman, Brahma eva sarvam. All of them, everything is nothing but Brahman. There is only one reality, that is Brahman. If that is the truth, how can the same Vedas talk about the karmakanda and where the, do's and don'ts, vidhi nisheda, rituals have been mentioned? It cannot be that the same Veda is half true and half untrue. That is what is the famous statement of Ardha Jaradiya Nyayam. The same person, one half of his is old man and the other half is young. It is never possible. So that is the statement which the opponent is arguing, saying that the same Veda cannot talk about karmakanda if karmakanda is not a reality and is non-existent. So for that, the answer was given that it is for the purpose of those who are not knowing the reality, jñānī, or those who have no knowledge about the truth, for them to get their mental status or the status with which we are addicted to the phenomenal world. That addiction can be reduced only by knowing the reality of the world. For that, the karmaganda is being mentioned to prove that this prārabdha, janma, punarjanma, etc. are all mentioned for the purpose of those who are thinking that the life, which we call it as phenomenal world, is real, and we need to do action because actions and consequences are part of the thing. So to get moksha or liberation from the birth and death, we need to do karma. And that karmas have to be sattvic karmas or good, of nature of producing good effect on the body. And that over a period will lead us to moksha. So karma is what is leading to moksha, is the feeling and the belief of those people who are not accepting Brahman or Atman as the only reality. They accept Brahman and Atman, but they do not accept it as that is the only one and the only one reality. So establishing that is the Upanishadic mantra from Muṇḍaka where they say that, Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmana nirvedamaya nasti akrita kritena tad vijñānārtam sa gurumeva vigachet samitpānihi śrotriyam brahmanishtam. So when it is mentioned in the Muṇḍaka Upanishad that tad vijñānārtam, to know the reality that Brahman alone is the reality, sa gurumeva vigachet, he should approach a guru. When? Pariksha lokan karmachitan. Who is the person who is approaching the guru? Pariksha lokan karmachitan. That is, having done repeatedly the karma again and again and evaluated, found, pariksha means analyzing that. Nirvedamaya nasti akrita kritena. They came to a realization, nirvedam. What? Na asti akritaha kritena. That akritaha, this Brahman or Atman is not a product. It is not a śruti. It is that from where the srishti or the creation is appearing to have come up. So that what is before creation is the akrita, what is being mentioned as in this one. So na asti means there is nothing which is which can be achieved through karma that is non-created. That is, this Brahma or Atma cannot be achieved through karma. That's why nasti akrita kritena. Tad vijñānatam. To know that akrita that Brahman or Atman, which is not a product, not a creation. Gurumeva bigacche samit panihi. Samit pani, the tradition those days in the Vedic period, they approach a guru with the folded hand, and the hand he will be carrying enough of the ritualistic twigs, etc., for the yaga, etc., for the guru. Samit panihi shrotriyam brahmanishtam. He is not only well-versed in Shastra, Shrotriyam, he is also a Brahmanishta. He is established in Brahman. So this is what the Muṇḍaka Upanishad has mentioned. So that is what is now kept in mind when Acharya says the 98th verse, when he says that Shriyande chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. Bahutvam tan nishedartram shutya geetam chayat sputam. That Shriyande chasya archa asya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. This is also from Muṇḍaka Upanishad only. What is it? Kim tarhi jnana bodhartam vakti śruti iti chet. That means the Vidyaranya's commentary, I am reading that. Then, is that the scripture speaks of karma for the sake of instructing a jñānī? Is it for the purpose of the jñānī that you are talking, saying that the Upanishad is for the jñānī, for knowing the Brahman or Atmi? So, is it the same Shruti which is talking now about for the karma, for the jñānī as an instruction? Uchyate. So, the answer is given that Shriyante iti. So, Shriyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. What does it say? It is said that in the Muṇḍaka Upanishad 2.2.8, that is second chapter, second section, 8th mantra. The mantra says, Vidyade hritaya grandhi, siddhyade sarva samshayaha. Shriyande chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. Vidyade hritaya grandhi. The knots of the hearts are cut. Vidyade means cut or snapped. What is the hritaya grandhi the Upanishad is talking about? It is the knot of the heart, in the heart, or it is that with which the heart is tied down to the feeling that I am the human being, I am the body, mind, intellect complex. That knot or the addiction or the affliction through the mind, that is the one which is getting snapped. And when it is happening, siddhyante sarva samshayaha. That samshaya here is referring to, samshaya means doubt. All doubts are destroyed. Siddhyante sarva samshaya, that is the literal meaning of it. But what you should understand it is, samshaya is here representing all the triputi. Ajnana, samshaya, viparya. So all is being indicated by one word, samshaya. Sarva samshaya means the ajnana, samshaya and viparya. There is nothing, there is no more doubt or misapprehension or non-apprehension or any type of hindrance in such a person who has understood that the knot of the heart is the reason why I am feeling that I am a human being, etc. So that is getting is destroyed. And what happens to such a person? Shriyande chasya karmani. Shriyande asya, one who has now attained these two. Tasya karmani shriyande. See, here the word karmani is a plural, which is to indicate that it is not only the actions which he is doing that thing, it is affecting whatever was thinking that as the karma for him, sañcita, agami, prārabdha, all the three are called together is called the karmāṇi here. Tasmin drishte paravare, which is that when he is seeing that Brahman which is para and avara, means higher and lower. There is this aspect is to be explained in Chandogya 7th, saying that Purastad, Paschad, Dachinada, Uttaradat, Uparitat, Adastad. Everywhere what is being experienced, including the one who is experiencing that, is Brahman or Atman. That means the individual who has broken this heart knot and has destroyed all his karmas, he is seeing nothing other than Brahman, nothing. Yatra nānyat pasyati anyat śrunoti anyat vijānāti. He doesn't see anything, he doesn't hear anything, he doesn't know anything. Everything he is becoming, he knows that it is Brahman only. Sarvatma bhava, sarvam khalu idam brahma. That is what is being experienced by such a person. Iti śrutya karmani iti bahutvam yat sfutam gītam. This word in the plurality, karmani, that is what is being given in that statement. Tat tan nishedartam prārabdha abhava pratipadanartam. The word karmani in the plural is mandatorily used, but it is used with a very purpose that would precisely deny all the three of sañcita, agami and prārabdha. So that to establish absence of any type of prārabdha or punarjanma or janma itself. Anyata sañcita kriyamāṇa apekshaya karmani iti dvitvam geyam. Otherwise, if Shruti wanted only to distinguish between sañcita and karmani, because there is a feeling or there is a statement among even the people in Advaita who says that the prārabdha karma of the jñānī remains. That is why he is suffering the body, he is having his body and he is transacting in the world, etc. To negate that, Vidyaranya very clearly says, Anyata sañcita kriyamāṇa apekshaya karmani iti dvitvam geyam. If prārabdha itself is being denied, otherwise the Shruti should have mentioned that sañcita agami should have been kriyamāṇani. It would have been simply said karmani instead of karmani in the plural. He should have used a dual word for the purpose. Tada na gītam ataha. But since it does not say so, it is clear that the plural is indicating of all the three of sañcita, agami and prārabdha. Brahma sākshatkāra chidjada grandhi vedena sañcita kriyamāṇa prārabdha ākya trivida karma akshayande. Brahma sākshatkārat, from the realization of Brahman, that is Brahma sākshatkārat param, chidgada brandhinam, that is by the chit and jada grandhi, that is jada is mind, intellect, physical body and the phenomenal world. All the relationships that I am the viewer, I am the seer, I am the one which is the body, the mind and intellect, I am experiencing the world. This is the grandhi or the knot which is tying us down and remaining as the individual all the time. But Brahma Sakshatkara, when you have realized that Brahman is the only reality and there is nothing other than Nadvijiyamasti, Sa Ekaha, Yatrana Anyat Pasyati Anyat Vijānāti Anyat Śrunoti. All these statements are affirming that Brahma Sakshatkarat Param, that is after Brahma Sakshatkara, there is no duality. And then when there is no duality, the relationship between the Chit, which is the nature of Brahman, and Jada, which is the nature of the phenomenal world, that is a Grandhi, Vedena, by the destruction of that, sañcita kriyamāṇa prārabdha akya trivida karma kshiyande. All the three types of karma, sañcita, prārabdha, agami, etc., are all destroyed, kshiyande. Parama purushartham jnana bodhartham śruti vaktihi iti bhavaha. Therefore, the Śruti speaks for the sake of clarifying for the jñānī point of view. The highest human goal, Parama Purushartha, is the jnana, is to know your own nature. To know your own nature is the purpose of the experiences. The experiences are there not to confuse us, but we get confused about it. The experiences are there to show that what is being experienced is nothing but Brahman or Atman. The multiplicity of the gold ornaments is not for multiplicity of the usage of the ornaments. All the time when you are using the ornaments also, it is nothing but gold. The multiplicity of the usage of water, whether it is the ocean, the wave, the rain, the river, the stream, the drinking water, the sewage water, or whatever may be the form of the water, the multiplicity in the names and forms of the water does not create separate water. There is only one water which is being used by different ways. Same way, the Parama Purushartha, while experiencing the multiplicity, it is not for experiencing the multiplicity. That is, if we get the multiplicity and we get tied down by that, then we are not moving towards the purpose of the experiences. The purpose of experience is not enjoyment, or not for indulgence, or not to get confused and confounded by the multiplicity of the profound world of phenomena. But it is to know that even when experiences are there, what we are experiencing is nothing but Satchidananda Brahma, or Satchit Anand, Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma, or Atma. But we do not know. I am experiencing myself when I am experiencing the phenomenal world. I feel that I am experiencing the world of multiplicity, duality, plurality with qualities because of my dependence on the mind and the sense organs. So I see color, taste, shabda, sparsha, rasa, rupa, gandha, all those five emotions of the sense organs. They are the one which is being seen, but I do not see the truth behind them. When I am seeing the light, I am not seeing the light. I am seeing this Brahman or Atman or the existence of the Satchidananda. The light is the appearance of Satchidananda in the form of light. What is being experienced as the existence of the light is the existence of Satchidananda Brahma, not that of the light. Light is only a part of the aspect of experience which is controlled by our eyes. Therefore, we call it as light. So is the case with every aspect of our life. We are thinking that we are experiencing the phenomenal world, but we are actually experiencing is ourselves. There is no experiencing if we are not really using our eyes, ears, etc. and the mind. That is when the Chittara Grandhi becomes, that is the time when the knot of the dependency on the heart and the sense organs are broken, and we see ourselves in everything, or we become everything ourselves. That is the Sarvatma Bhava. We become everything. We are not differentiating with the phenomenal world with the names and forms. We see ekaptom anupashyata. That is why the scripture is very clear about that. The karma is only for those who do not see that. Chiyande chasya karmāṇi tasmin drishte paravari. He is the one who sees the higher and lower. He sees nothing other than that. This is exactly what the Sanat Kumar also told Narada when he said he knows, Rigvedam jñānī, Yajurvedam jñānī, Atharvavedam jñānī, Nakshatra Vidya, Sarpa Vidya. He listed out a lot of vidyas and knowledge which he has studied, which was, ridiculed by his brother Sanat Kumara in one way. Narada, you know only what you have studied with all those things, nama matram. You have learned the words and where the words can go. Therefore, your control is only limited to the limit of the word. Where the words can go, you can go there, not beyond that. You have to go beyond the words. That is why he takes us through the steps of the meditation, Nididhyasana, in the 7th chapter of Chandogya, which we discussed in detail. So, to conclude this aspect, he is moving now to the final verse of the Upadesha Sahasri, which is a Uchyade atnehi balad cha etat tada anarthadvaya agamaha vedanta matahanam cha yado jñāna iti śruti. What does it say that? He's saying that in this 99th verse, Uchyate atnehi balad etat uchyate. Atnehi, the ignorant people who have not understood the meaning of Upanishads and the explanations of the Upanishads, they are called Atnya. Balad, because of their conviction that the karma is real and they have to perform the Vedic karmas and everything is for the moksha purpose. Etat uchyate cha tada anarthadvayagamaha. When they are using that, with authority of the Veda, that karma is must and that has to be done. They are leading themselves into anarthadvayagama, two absurdities. What are that? Vedanta matahanam. One is that they are Vedanta, the scriptural instructions of the Upanishad, that they have to abandon because it is contradictory to the first part where the karmakanda is there. Here it is say, Chiyande chasya karmāṇi tasmin drishte paravare. So where is the karma requirement? Where is the actions are required anymore by these people? Cha, again, ataha, therefore, yataha jñānam bhavati iti śrutihi. So one is the Vedanta matahanam, and then they also have to abandon the Śruti. If the ignorant still arbitrarily maintain this, they will not only involve themselves into absurdities, but also will run the risk of forgoing the Vedantic conclusion. So one should accept those Śrutis alone, from which proceeds the true knowledge. So, if you look at the footnotes by Swami Vimuktananda, he is very clearly mentioning that arbitrarily meant by sheer force of one predilections and not on the strength of sound of reasoning. He is convinced that the Purvakanda is his instructions or instructions from the Vedas, but he is not applying his reasoning. What is the Purvakanda, why it is being given, and why it is the presence of, why should that Vedanta, toward the end, the Veda should talk a different language altogether. That is the possibility of prārabdha in the actions even after knowledge, is becoming invalid. What are the two absurdities which is being told in that they will be involving? The upholders of prārabdha are driven by that absurd position. The first is that the moksha or liberation from the bondage of duality or the multiplicity of the phenomenal world will become impossible for them, as there will always remain the prārabdha, the karma phala, etc., along with Brahman. And they are mutually exclusive. They cannot be, when karma is there, Brahman cannot be achieved. Brahman means achieved, karma cannot be existing. Because nasti akrita kritena. So in the second place, what happened? The liberation, the moksha, the paramapurushartha, the purpose for our life is to liberate ourselves from the sorrows and agonies and apprehensions and experiences of all the multiplicity which we see with the reality feeling in the multiplicity. The reality of the multiplicity is that of ekatvam, Brahman, and not on the multiplicity of the world. The multiplicity, when it is being experienced, when you know that it is nothing but Brahman, the multiplicity is not going to touch you anymore. That is where the sarvagrandhinam vipramokshaha or chiyante chasya karmāṇi tasmin drishte paravare. All those will become that prārabdha is not a reality. It is part of the phenomenal world which I was thinking is real. The reality of the phenomenal world is nothing but Brahman. They run the risk of foregoing Vedantic conclusion. Means if you are adamant and following the Vedanta, the Purva Kanta or the Purva Mimamsa, then you have to abandon the Upanishadic thing, because Upanishadic instructions of Upanishadic, where it says that Shrotavya, Mantavya, Nididhya, Siddhavya. Are Maitreyi, I am Atma, Shrotavya, Drashtavya, Shrotavyo, Mantavyo, Nididhya, Siddhavya. I am Maitreyi, this Atma has to be seen. For that, you have to listen, you have to meditate, and you have to come to the conclusion that Atma is the only truth and reality, is the instructions given by Yajnavalkya to his favorite wife, Maitreyi. So that will become, you have to forego that Vedantic truth. Those shrutis alone, for the purpose of realization and release from this mundane world and the limitations of the phenomenal world, we need to know what is our true reality, who we are, or what is the reality of the phenomenal world. When we know that non-dual Atma alone consists of the real knowledge, Śruti will be the only means to know such knowledge. There is no other teaching available anywhere in the world, anywhere in our experiences of dream, waking, or deep sleep, where we can get such a knowledge. If you forgo that, then what happens is that the Śruti becomes not a supporting document or not an effective tool for the, pramāṇam, or for the knowledge, where we say that pratyaksha pramāṇa, pratyaksha anumana upamana arthapatti anupalabdhi shabdam. So this shabdam or the Śruti will become not a pramāṇa for them, and they will have to be depending upon the Purva Kanda and keep on doing the karma, never get moksha. In this connection, the main topic is said to be that one should abide by those Śrutis alone, which establish the non-dual Brahman, Atman, by denying all actions of it, and not by those that maintain prārabdha and lend support to duality. Vidyaranya gives a very, very detailed commentary on that. Let us look at that. Uktai viparyetye bhatakam aha uchyate iti. In refutation to the contrary view, which is that prārabdha is real for jñānī, that is denied by saying etat prārabdam atnei śruti tātparya śruti tātparya anabhignai balat viveka samartyat ched uchyate. That etat prārabdam, this prārabdha is ascertained only for the ignorant, atneihi. Śruti tātparya anabhignai. those who are unacquainted with the true intent of the Shruti, Shruti Tatparya, true intent of the Shruti or the Upanishad. Balat aviveka samartyat, who by forcefully and lack of discrimination, aviveka, they interpret otherwise, that yada arthataya pratipadyate chakarad advayam atmanam na pashyati. If it is established as real, what? This prārabdha and the karma and the duality is established as real, then by that very misinterpretation, one fails to see the non-dual, because the karma kanda is always depend upon the duality. Without duality, there cannot be that. There has to be a karma, an achievement, and for that purpose, I am the karta, and there is a bhogyam, which is known to be my fruit of my action, and the acts, the karma which is being given in the Purva Mimamsa becomes the means for me. So therefore, I become the subject and the object is to be established for such karma. Tada anartadvayagama doshadvaya prapti. Therefore, then these two calamities or the two doshas, which is doshadvaya, will happen, prapti. What is that? Tatra prārabdha rūpasya dvaitasya angīkāre anirmoksha prasangak ekoho dokshaha. The eka doksha. What is the first fault? Tatra prārabdha rūpasya dvaitai angīkāre. By accepting prārabdha or the dualistic aspect as real, anirmoksha prasangaha. The moksha becomes, or the liberation from the duality will become impossible. Because, itaram antaram kurte atatasya bhayam bhavati. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, we studied that. Even if an iota of separation I have in anything in this world, or in anything in my experience, or anything even in imagination, atatasya bhayam bhavati. That can be a cause for my unhappiness, fear, agony, anxiety, etc. So, prārabdha, if I accept that karma as then I have to have karta and bhokta, the subject and object separation, and that duality will make it impossible for me to have the freedom from the duality. Moksha abhave jnana sampradaya uchcheda rupa udditiya doshaha. The second fault is that if there is no liberation, moksha abhava, the very tradition of Vedanta as a means of moksha collapses. The means for liberation will collapse. Purushartha is talking about moksha, or the freedom or liberation from all duality and related the entanglement of the phenomenal world. If we are accepting only the Purva Mimamsa of the Veda and deny that Uttara Mimamsa or the Vedanta or the Upanishad, then Uttara Mimamsa or the Purva Upanishad is the only one which is dealing with the liberational aspect. The other liberations are Swarga, etc. in the Purva Mimamsa. So, Shrine Punye Martyalogam Vishanti, those who are even achieving the Swarga is a temporary place because it is achieved by means of action. So, whatever is achieved by means of action has a time and duration built into that action. So, the Swarga is not a permanent Swarga. That is why Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan Brahmana Nirvedamayat. That statement is that they came to the conclusion that it is a product of karma. So, na asti akrita kritena. So only way to get moksha is by knowing the one, ekaha, sa ekaha, na dvitiyam asti. So when he has only one, he has no fear of the other. Dvitiya vai bhayam bhavati. From the second, the fear is from the otherness. That is not there. Iti na kevalam doshadvayasya eva praptihi apitu vedanta mata hanam cha. So not only do this two faults, it is you have to abandon the Vedanta itself totally. Vedanta matasya advayasya hanam tyage bhavishyati prārabdha grahana rupasya dvaitasya yatha arthyad ityartha. Then by giving up the Advaita Vedanta and affirming the reality in duality, the form of prārabdha becomes a reality. Tarhi kim pratipattavyam iti ata aha yataha iti. So if now the question is being asked by the Purvapakshi who believes in the duality. So then what is rightly to be understood? Therefore it is said yataha. Therefore it is starting that sa śruti tu tameva dhiro vijñāya prajñāṃ kurvīda brahmanaha na anudhyayat iha uchhabdhan vacho viglapanam hitat iti. Is now referring to, Vidyaranya is referring to Brihadaranya Upanishad, 4th chapter, 4th section, 21st mantra, 4.4.21. What does it say? Tamaiva dhiro vijñāya prajñāṃ kurvīda brahmana. Knowing him, knowing Brahman, the wise seeker should cultivate prajna. Now, cultivate prajna is a statement that prajñāṃ kurvīta. See, that is very important word which is there in the Brihadaranya. Vijñāya, with what vijñāya? Having known tam, that Brahman, dhīraha, dhimantaha, the wise person who has understood what is Brahman, prajñāṃ kurvīta. He has to cultivate prajna. Prajna is our own feeling of separation, which is now giving rise to duality. The same prajna, when it knows Brahman or Atman, that duality is the one which is broken. Vidyate hritaya grandhi chiddide sarva samshayaha. So that same prajna has now known Brahman, that there is only reality. All the phenomenal world is in reality Brahman only. I am seeing it as light, sound, touch, smell, taste, etc. is due to my dependency on my sense organs, and that codification done by my mind as what I am seeing is color, what I am seeing is sound, what I am seeing is taste, etc. as multiplicity of the world. But in reality, what I am knowing is prajna, that awareness or consciousness, which is now being called by light, sound, etc. So, tat prajñāṃ kurvīta. You have to cultivate that. One should not dwell on many words, for that only weakens the speech. That is, nanu na anudhyayat. One should not dwell, anudhyayat. Uchhabdhan. Uchhabdhan either standing for the ritualistic words or the Purva Mimamsa, instruction, Vidhi Nishedha. Why? Vachaha viglapanam hi tat. All these words which are there in the Purva Mimamsa are speeches which weakens our prajna, which weakens our affirmation possibility towards Brahma. Edat aviprayaha. Kaha? ke iti uchyate ullekhyate. Then this intended meaning here is that made explicit by what? Dhiraha, viveki. Dhiraha, the dhimantaha, the wise seeker, viveki. And he is giving a definition for Brahmana here, which is first time I am interested, and it is very, very well to be remembered. Everybody should remember this definition for Brahmana. It is not by birth one becomes Brahmana. Vidyaranya says, Brahma bhavidum ichuhu. One who likes to become Brahma, he is a Brahmana. Brahma bhavidum ichuhu is Brahmana. Desiring to become a Brahman, he is a Brahmana. Tam eva vedanta prasiddham atmanam vijñāya ādau upadeshataha shastrataha cha jñātva. But such a person must know that the very self, what is being taught in the Upanishads or the Vedanta, through the instructions and the scriptures, upadeshataha shastrataha, that is atmanam vijñāya. One should know Atman or Brahman. Anandaram prajñām shastra cha acharya upadishta visheshan vishayan aparoksha anubhava paryandam jñāsā parisamaptakarim kurvita. Anandaram, after that, then prajñām kurvita, that is being explained here. Shastra acharya upadishta vishayam aparokshanubhava paryantam jñāsa parisamaptikarim kurvita. Prajñām kurvita. There is a word in the Upanishad, the word which I told you, develop the prajña or cultivate the prajña. That he is now being explained that. What is that? Prajñām. What is prajña? What is the prajña which will be obtained? Shastra acharya upadeshta vishayam. That is the subject of direct realization which is being taught by the teacher and the scriptures. Shastra acharya upadeshta vishayam is about aparokshanubhava paryantam. Until it becomes a direct realization on meditating upon that, on cultivating the prajña, jñāsa parisamaptikarim, that which destroys or culminate in the destruction of all sorts of inquisitiveness in us. There is nothing more to be known. Neha nanasti kinchana. There is nothing to be known. That will be our realization. That is why the prajñām kurvita is being that the word prajña is that knowledge which is samaptikari, which destroys the jñāsa or inquisitiveness to find the multiplicity. When does it happen? Aparoksha anubhava paryantam. When you have the aparokshanubhuti of Atman or Brahman, when you realize that what you are seeing the world as the multiplicity phenomena, as the individual, the dreamer, the waker, the deep sleeper is nothing but my own nature. I, the one which was one non-dual Brahman in my pure state, is the one which is now being experienced as the dreamer, the dream world and the dreamer experiencer, the waker, the waking world and the phenomena of the waking world, and the one which says that I have waking dream and deep sleep. That all sorts of experiences, expressions, and multiplicity. That is the parisamapti happens. That is the time when the Aparokshanubhuti takes place. That is what is said as Aparokshanubhava Paryanta. And how does it happen? Shastra Acharya Upadeshta Vishayam. Only when we imbibe the teachings Vishayam, Upadeshta Vishayam, taught by the Acharya and Shastra, the teacher and the scripture. Bahun karma upasan pratipatakan shabdan vakya sambandhan sambardhan na anudhyayet na cha chiddayet. What should not be done? He should not ruminate, or upasana should not be done, or meditate, or follow or practice. Karma upasana pratipatakan shabdan vakya sandarbhan. All the passages in the Vedas, which is collection of many passages prescribing rituals and upasanas. Na chindayet, he should not meditate or practice that. Tarhitan bruyat kim ityada aha vacha viglabanam. That is why the Upanishad says that all the words are fatigues which can be created by repeating those words. In the Purvakanda, where the karma is being, karma and upasanas are being prescribed by the Upanishad. Tat vaita shastra patanam vacha viglapanam visheshena sramakaram hi iti sarva anubhava prasiddham. Anubhava siddham. Sarva anubhava siddham. It is an experience by everybody. Whoever has studied the Shastra Patanam, Vaita Shastra Patanam means the Purva Mimamsa, which is talking about the Vidhi Nisheda. Vacha Viglavanam Visheshena Sramakaram. By laborious means of doing the actions and upasanas which are confirmed by universal experience, Sarva Anubhava Siddham. Therefore, it is ascertaining that the wise aspirant desiring to be Brahman, to know Brahman or to be Brahman, must first know the self of Atma taught by the Vedanta through the scriptures and the teacher, and then cultivate the Prajñāṁ Gurvīta, a direct realization on the conclusion of those teachings. And he should not waste time, effort in running after the previous karma and upasanas which are being mentioned in the earlier part of that. Tat Vedantik. Tamo dhiro vitnyaya prajñāṁ gurvīda brahmanaha. Nanu adhyaya diha shabdan vacho viglapanam hitat. That is the Brihadaranya Upanishad which is being referred here. With that, the Aparokshanubhuti aspect of the teaching has been completed. But Acharya is not letting us go, because he knows that this Prajñāṁ Gurvīda, that teaching what he said, that you should meditate upon this Brahman, Atman, abandoning all those things. So how to abandon the practice of Purvakanda, which we have been doing all these things? We are habituated to karma. Day in and day out, we are supposed to be doing karma. Morning onwards, when we wake up, we are forced to do karma. So, as human beings, we are all limited by our practices of karma and living by those karmas. So, in the 100th verse, he is now giving the preamble, which we will start in the next class. Tripanjanga anyatho vakshye पूर्वोक्तस्य हि लब्धये तैश्च सर्वैः सदा कार्यं निदिध्यासनमेव तु. अतः now पूर्वोक्तस्य हि लब्धये. Purvoktasya means what has been said earlier. Labdaye, for the attainment of that. What is the Purvoktasya? That is Prajñām Gurvida. And after doing the Prajñā Gurvida, you should have the Aparokshanubhuti as your Sakshatkara realization. 3 Panjangani, 15 steps. 3 Panjangani means 3 fives. 15 steps. Aham Vakshye, I shall expound, I'll explain from now onwards. Taihi Sarvai, with the help of them all, Nididhyasanam, that Nischayatmika Dhi, that firm conviction that I am Brahman, I am Sarvam Khaluidam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. That Nididhyasanam, Nischayatmika Dhi, that meditation and the conviction, that profound conviction which will happen to us by following the 15 steps. Eva sada karyam is to be practiced even when we are doing that, when we are getting conviction. After getting conviction also, you should continue to do that 15 steps so that you are continuing and affirming your realization, which will never allowing the mind to take us away again into this multiplicity, because we do not know when did this mind took us to the multiplicity. We are Brahman. The rope was rope only. It had never become the snake. And to realize it was a rope, we needed somebody to tell us that what you are seeing is not snake but thing. Somebody had to tell us that what we are seeing is not ornaments but gold. Somebody had to tell us that what we are seeing is not mirage but water, not water but a mirage. What we are seeing is not multiplicity of the names and forms of water, but what water alone is the truth, whether it is the ocean, the river, the rain, or the stream, etc. That multiplicity has happened to us. How did it happen? We do not know, because now we are in that state that we are confused and confounded by the multiplicity. But that not to happen again when we have the Aparokshanubhuti, we need to be doing this nididhyas and the 15 steps which is being said, until and unless that is totally destroyed. Chiyante chasya karmāṇi tasmin drishte paravari. And that even those actions will become part of the actions which is mentioned as the upasana or the instructions from the Upanishad, that also will become redundant once the nididhyasanam or the conviction comes to us that we are nothing but Brahman or Atman. I will go through the Vidyarnya's commentary of this in the next class. So we will go through this verse again once more and see where Acharya is taking us by the 15 steps. I'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyawada.
Thank you, Binduji, again for a wonderful session on Aparokshanubhuti. I'm opening up the chat and hand raising, so if you have any follow-up questions or any discussion points, please come up. Namaste.
Namaste, Bindoji, Prakashji.
Bindoji, you're muted.
Ask the question.
Can you hear me, Bindoji?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you for the beautiful explanation and very clear here, Bindoji, 99th and 90 from 98 and 99 towards the Iha and Iha Prapanchas and the how to attain the through the manana. And my question, Bindoji, the pradnyam kurvita is
Pratyam kurvita.
sorry. Pradnyam kurvita is with making the mind to vijnanamaya. Then there doing the manana, and we have to we will the aparoksha jnanam will we will it will happen there after the becoming prajnam. The mind will become the vijnanam. Is like that prajnam is where the mind will become the vijnanamaya, only the vijnanamaya.
No, actually speaking, Vijnanamaya is not Pratyam kurvita. Vijnanamaya is basically that aspect of our intellect where we are in a logical aspect. But when it is said as Pratyam kurvita, it is going beyond that. That is why the words which has been said is the Shastra Acharya Upadishta Vishayan. That Aparokshanubhuti-35. So, Aparokshanubhuti-35, what has been taught by the teacher and the Shastras, should be the one which entertained in our intellect and the mind. There the difference is Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, difference is not there. We are, see, that is why Manasa, see, mind alone is the instrument. Manasa eva vijiknyasasva. It's sachat aparokshat brahma. All that place is aparokshat is using the mind again. Otherwise the word paroksha should have come or pratyaksha should have come. Both have been denied and aparoksha word is used for the purpose of that. It is our own mind which is the one which is to know that the multiplicity is not reality. Where does the multiplicity exist for us? In the mind. In the mind means antakarana. And that Pratyam Kurvita has to happen in the antakarana, and until that nididhyasana takes place. The conviction happens that the multiplicity what we see is not names and forms but Atma, Brahman, which is being now used by the Nama Rupa. The Nama Rupa reality is not ultimate. The ultimate is the experience or the Nama Rupa, which is nothing but jnanam or our direct experience, Aparoksha Anubhuti. That is all the reality what is there.
Then the state of mind, it is prajñam kodvita is state of
Yes.
mind. Ah, okay.
Then what happens is that he will be seen as a jñānī by others. From his point of view, he doesn't see anything other than Atman or Brahman. He doesn't see himself. Even when he is seeing Atman or Brahman. Now, we are also seeing right now Atman or Brahman only. It is not that something new is going to come up, but we are confounded by the name and form because of our dependency of the sense organs and the mind to decode that inputs which are coming to us, to our antakarana. We are not realizing that when I am seeing an object, I am not seeing an object with the name and the form. The name and the form are brought to me by my eyes brings the form, and the name is brought by the ears. So an object is now divided as name and form because I use my eyes and ears. But when I know my reality, I don't need my mind anymore for seeing the object. The object is not separate from me or having an independent existence separate from me. Because the I-ness with which I am creating a separation between me and the world, that I am Bindu with a antakarana and the physical body and the physical world to experience, that multiplicity is dissolved, destroyed, and is no more there. What I am seeing is there is no I-ness there or the individuality there. I have become Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. And that Brahman is the one which I am seeing and experiencing in the form of name and form. So the name and form, even while experiencing and transacting, is not separate from me. But if I am not realized myself as my Atman or Brahman, I am separate, the objects are separate for me. That separation gets dissolved is what is getting destroyed or negated or do not have a reality to it. That reality of the separation goes. That is what it is called the Chidjada Grandhinam Vipramokshaha. The instant realization or freedom from the Chidjada Grandhi. That means I am the consciousness and these are all objects for me. The consciousness will go and I will see, I will not call it as no more I and the world, but I will see them all as consciousness. In the consciousness, I am also consciousness, the objects are also consciousness, and the name and form are only due to my dependency on my sense organs. But that is not a reality. That is only in the waking I depend upon my world, sense organs for the waking world, and my dependency on the dream world is for the dream sense organs. But I am there even in my dream and even in my waking. The reality, the Atma or Brahman has not become the dreamer or the waker to enjoy the world of dream or world of waking. Even then, when it was happening, I am only. That Atma has not become the waker, not become the dreamer. But we think that I have become the waker. We think we have become the dreamer because we do not know who we are. That knowledge who we are is the only one which can release us from that ignorance of separation which we have in the waking and the dream. It is not that the waking and the dream will not happen, but it is not more called the waking or the dream by us, the one who is a jñānī. For him, It is nothing but experiences of Atman or Brahman only. The names and forms are of Atman or Brahman. The names and forms are not of the phenomenal world. That is the experience of the jñānī.
Yes, Bindu, thank you. Clear now. But he is saying it here says here the after aparoksha anubhava also the ज्ञात्वा अनन्तरं प्रज्ञां शास्त्र आचार्य उपदिष्ट विषयां परोक्षानुभव पर्यन्त जिज्ञासा परिसमाप्तिकरीं कुर्वीत. After that also the manana is necessary. Is that, Binduji? Is it like that?
Prajna, what is that? Nirashakarim. That word, samshayam, is jitnyasa parisamaptikarim. There won't be any more jitnyasa. Jitnyasa means inquisitiveness with us.
Yes.
Because when I have the otherness, I will have an inquisitiveness to know that. When there is no otherness, where is the inquisitiveness in me? That is why jitnyasa parisamaptikarim kurvita. Up to that, prajñāṃ kurvita means the meditation should be practiced so that I don't have any doubt in my antakarana.
Yes. Okay, Binduji. Got to understand. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Hello. Can you hear me?
Thanks. Good morning.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Actually, yeah. What should we actually meditate on? Like, there is no separateness in that thought. Should we meditate, or I would like to have some more clarity on that.
More clarity will come when I go through the 15 steps which Shankaracharya has mentioned in the following verses. But basically, what is taught in the Aparokshanubhuti as we are now in a state of delusion, confusion, or ignorance. The phenomenal world is real, and I am the experiencer of the phenomenal world, including my body, mind, intellect complex, which is part of the phenomenal world. So when I know that I am not the body, mind, intellect, I know what I am, then the phenomenal world, including my body, mind, and complex, all of them will be seen as my own nature, as Atman or Brahman. The world is not separate from me. I am seeing myself in everything, or everything is in my own way. Omam pashyati sarvatra sarvancha mahi pashyati is what Bhagavad Gita says. Or Chandogya Upanishad says that yatra nanyat pashyati anyat shrunoti anyat vijanati. So this experience has to become our reality. Not what we are experiencing right now as the phenomenal world. I am separate, the phenomenal world is separate, and they are all name and forms. That aspect will dissolve, knowing the Brahman or Atma. That is what is called the meditation, will lead us to. The steps for that, how to do that, yama niyama atmana prapana, all those things are being explained in the remaining 44 verses by Acharya Shankara. We will be going through them one by one. And I'll explain how each one of them have to be practiced or done at every stage, how it will help us to have this nididhyasana or this firm conviction that we are Atma or Brahman will be clear at that time.
Actually, while we are born, we forget this. That we forget that we are all one. that aspect we forget and we get into the leela of this world, physical world. And actually, why do we forget that we are all one?
We are not forgetting. We are not born. We are Brahman or Atman all the time. Right now, this very moment, you are Atman or Brahman. Everyone here is Atman or Brahman, or everything in this world is Atman or Brahman. In the waking world or dream sleep world. There is nothing other than that.
But why
It
we
is the
need
nature,
to be remembered? Like we have to...
It is the nature of Atman or Brahman, because Atma Brahman is awareness, consciousness, or knowledge. It is the nature of awareness to be aware. In the awareness, when we forgot ourselves, why did we forget? We have no answer it. The forgetfulness or the ignorance which is now catching us has given rise to the feeling that we are the individuals, waking, dream and deep sleeper, Atma or Brahman, which is going through the phenomenon of knowing things separately. Knowing is not bad, but knowing them separately is what is creating the world. The forgetfulness is not in the knowing. The forgetfulness is not knowing our nature. The moment we forget our nature, what we are experiencing as the multiplicity with the name and form becomes separate world for me to experience. But the moment I regain my knowledge of who I am, in that knowledge, these experiences of the phenomenal world, names and forms are for transaction. The reality of the name and form behind them is my own nature of Atman or Brahman or the awareness or the consciousness. The world, the animal, the sun, the moon, the name, the form, everything which we are experiencing is experienced only as consciousness or awareness or knowledge. There is no other way we can know about it. But since we do not know that we are that, we think I am the knower, the world is the known. That is where the forgetfulness took place.
Actually, we only decided that we want to experience this experience, right? So once it is created and once we are trying to experience, in a movie, if we are acting, the actor's role is our role. The scriptwriter, everything is actually us only. So for that experience only, we are actually getting identified as that character, right?
Just like how you are dreaming, in the dreaming you became something else and the dream world has been created and the experiences of the dream world, you are the knowledge, the experience or the awareness is all that what we call it as a dream world. If you take out awareness, there is no world, no dreamer, no experiences. It is the same in the case of waking. Waking is also full of awareness only. We are aware of ourselves and we are aware of the world. But when we do not know, it is awareness what is happening, what is the fundamental reality. I become separate, the world becomes separate, and I become the experiencer of the world.
But one more question which I have is if a dog is coming to bite us, this is very silly example might be. So if we think we are Brahman and we are having that realization that that dog and we are the same, but in physical reality, if we get a bite, it really feels like a bite only, no? We really get affected by it. So
Very funny question. Yeah, this is the same question which has been asked by many people. For centuries, they have been asking this question. Okay. Now, imagine the dog is biting you and you are dreaming about the dog biting you. Okay. The
Okay.
dog is real, the coming of the dog is real, and the biting is real. But the moment it bit you, you woke up. The moment you woke up, the dream dog has gone, the dreamer who was getting bitten also has gone. Everything you now know that it is all in your awareness which all these things happened. Same way, the one who now realizes that I am awareness, for him, the dog and the coming and the biting is all the similar to the dream dog biting him. In the waking, the waking dog comes and bites him, but he is not the body, mind, intellect for him to get bitten by the dog, because he is the awareness. Awareness can never be bitten by a dog. The body can be bitten by a dog. The pain can be felt by the body. Everything is happening in awareness. But the dog is also awareness, and it is coming and biting is also in awareness. Everything is happening in awareness. But the body, if you think you are the body, the dog becomes a dog, a real dog, and that will bite. The pain will be by the body. But are you the body then? If you are the body, then your question is real. But if you know that you are not the body, your body is an object known to you, you are the awareness, the dog cannot bite you. It can bite your body, but it cannot bite you.
Okay, Binduji, thank you.
Namaste, Prakash. We can close down, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you everyone for coming. And specifically, thank you to Binduji. I think there is one question from Joseph.
Yeah, let Joseph question come. Come, Joseph.
Namaste, Binduji.
Namaste, Joseph.
Yeah, I was trying to understand this concept with using AI, and I asked it to explain to me like a small 7-year-old child, and it gave me this particular picture to explain what is awareness and consciousness. And I just wanted to share something about this question. Right, one way of understanding this is because in this state it's tough to understand what is going around. But one example that I had is I was in Bangalore and I was in this AR/VR glasses on, and it will raise you to a 10th floor. Actually, I'm on the floor and walking on the plank. But my eyes feel and the mind feels that I am in the 10th floor. So the moment you remove the glasses, you are in the 10th floor.
Yeah.
But that world inside that AR/VR still exists. If I want to communicate inside that world to somebody else, to talk, to feel the pain, everything exists inside the world. That is still there.
Yeah.
If the configuration is changed, and that world changes. Suddenly from the ground floor, I am on the 10th floor. So that is always there. Inside there are buildings. Inside there are bumps, holes, pain. Everything is inside that world. The configuration changes, and then the reality changes there. So that is a much easier example to relate, in this particular world for me. So I just wanted to share that. So people have a lot of things. The pain is real. How can this not be real? But this was much easier because now we can know what is real and unreal in that AR/VR example. But in this state, it is so attached so closely that we don't know the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is the practice of all meditations, to decouple or to create a gap from the body and mind. Best way of observing.
Yes, that's right. In fact, in the olden days, people used to do that Indrajala, what they used to call it as a magic trick, where the magician himself climbs a rope which stands like a rod. Actually, the rope is also not standing. It is not like then he is also not climbing. From his point of view, he knows the trick. He throws the rope and climbs up, shows as if he is going to the sky through the rope. And then you will find, that somebody attacking him, and his body parts, hands, legs, everything, and finally his head falls down. So the viewers realize that this magician got cut into pieces and he has fallen down from the sky. And then he stands up from the floor again, and that time the rope or the sky is not there to be seen. So everybody knows that what he did was a magic trick. So same is the case, there was somebody tying you down with the chains and lock and everything, putting you in front of a railway track, and the engine is coming with full speed. And suddenly it runs over the man and the chain and everything. Apparently it looks like as if it is really happened. But you will realize that that man is standing along with you in the crowd, who is on looking at as seeing that thing to confuse people. These type of things are being done by the magicians. It is that exactly what it is that you said about the AR. It can be made us feel that it is real, but actually speaking, the reality is something different. The famous example of keeping an artificial hand and asking you to keep your hand on top of the artificial hand. In between your real hand, the right hand, left hand, there is a partition. Then suddenly you are told that you remove your hand, and the artificial hand is there, and you are seeing your real right hand there. Your artificial left hand is actually speaking, your left hand has been removed, but your artificial left hand is there. And this person who is down doing the experiment, he bangs a hammer on your left hand, and you feel the pain on your left hand, to the extent you get a bruise on your left hand. Apparently there is a bruise on your left hand, but that bruise doesn't last long. It vanishes within few seconds. But the body reacted to create the bruise on your left hand, which was not there. It was an artificial hand on which the hammer was hit. But our mind and the body reacted to that artificial thing. I think there are YouTube videos available if you want to see that, you can see that there are tubes available, explanations available. Science have proved that it is our mind which is creating reactions in the body. In the 1800s, there was a surgeon in Calcutta who was banned by the British then later. He could do open surgeries by hypnotizing the patient without a single drop of anesthesia. And the patients never felt a pain. And after the operation is over, he kept the patients for time till they realize that there is no pain, and the pain reduced of the operation. Then he said, there will be little pain in the place where you have had a nesting. That will go over a period. That is the time when they realize that there is some pain. To such an extent, then it became against the medical science how such a thing can be done. So the British banned that surgeon, and he could not practice it anymore. If you look into the thing, you can find that this phenomenology was there in India earlier, using hypnotism for surgeries. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Prakash.
Thank you.
Friends, presents, Joseph, Revati, for your questions. Thank you all for being there. We'll continue with the 15 steps in the coming weeks. We'll see you on Friday. And next to this Monday, which is beginning of Navaratri. So we will have the class on Monday, but I will tell about there will be a holiday during the following weeks, that following Friday and the following Monday. We may not have classes, but we'll have classes on next Monday and Wednesday, but not on Friday and Monday. The following two classes won't be there due to Mahalaya, Navami, and etc. See you on Monday. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Binduji. Thanks, everyone.